I had been for 3 decades a newspaper reporter, and so I thought, well, I know it's kind of hackneyed in a way to write about a newspaper reporter when you were a newspaper reporter, but that's kind of what I knew. And I sat down and this character came to mind, and I thought, well, if he had discovered this murder, how would he think about it? How would he write about it? What were his problems going to be getting engaged in this story? And then it got better. What if he were a demoralized newspaper reporter on his, glide path downward to retirement or something like that, and he reluctantly grabbed onto this story? How would he be re-energized? I had a very happy newspaper career. I don't think I was ever demoralized. I had great bosses. That's not going to make a very good character in a fiction book. You've got to have conflict. And Span thinks that his editor is an idiot. He thinks he could do it a lot better. I was never quite that way. I tried to steer clear of the colleagues that I had who thought their editors were idiots and thought, that they had terrible jobs. I thought I had a great job, and I did. And I thought I had a really fun career, and I did. But Span is not that way at all. So I think that maybe I'm 15, 20% Span. Jonas Kron is an industrialist who has inherited this company that used to be a rock quarry, a really, really prestigious company that's kind of fallen on harder times. He functions kind of on 2 levels. Yeah, he's a corporate executive. He has a lot of prestige. His word, just the way he says a sentence or something, makes people jump around the world. At the same time, he's into conspiracy theories. One of the things that really dominates his mind is the history of the Swedish Empire back in the 16 and 1700s. He fantasizes that this island that his family has dominated for generations is in fact some kind of a Swedish colony, a lost colony, if you will. It's really not that anymore, if it ever was. But in his mind, that's what Hennepin Island should be. And that's what this church that his family built should be. And that's what all the businesses and the families and so on the island should be. Still kind of serfs to the Kron family. My roots are from Scandinavia, so that kind of gloomy tradition of fiction kind of holds over. I don't think this is necessarily a gloomy novel, but the atmospheric parts of Hennepin Island they speak to me. I like them. I like film noir. I like these kinds of books and movies that are filmed in black and white, and there are shadows. Well, I think the levity and humor juxtaposed to the horror of the murder and murders in this book are part of, if it's a successful book, that's a big part of it. And the influence, I think, obviously, is the Coen brothers. I mean, they really do that better than anybody else in the movies. And I didn't consciously think of that as I was writing the book, but I really wanted to inject some humor, some levity into the horrible situation that these characters find themselves in, because I think, I don't know, it's just more like real life. Right? Somebody said life is a comedy, even in the midst of tragedy, and that's kind of what we're dealing with here.